Let's round up the rest of the Champions League action, guys, starting with Arsenal at Club Brugge and with a convincing 3-0 win. They are top of the table in the Champions League with a perfect record. So this is a win that we expected. But I want to talk about Noni Madueke. Where are the Arsenal fans that said he's not good enough? Like point blank, he's just simply not good enough. Where are the Arsenal fans that said it was £50 million wasted? Where are the Arsenal fans that said they don't want us? I don't want to sign him. Ugh, they were throwing their toys out the pram. Where are you guys? Because I can't find you anymore. I can't find you anymore. And for me, I was always telling these Arsenal fans that Madueke will be a very, very good signing for Arsenal. And that reason being because Arsenal prior to Madueke have been so Saka reliant. And even when Saka's not playing well, even when Saka's tired and all these things, Saka was unhookable. Saka was unrestable at times um, because they didn't have anyone adequate, satisfactory enough to replace him on that right wing. But now they do. Noni Madueke is proving his worth to Arsenal and to the Arsenal fans clearly because they've piped down now about their opinions they so strongly had. Um, and let's talk about his first goal because he scored two, but the first goal, you know, the confidence to do what he did, picking up the ball where he did, gets past one player, shrugs him off using a bit of nice footwork, shrugs him off. The second challenge is coming, but he powers through that player. And then he takes a touch and bang, what a strike. And you know when it goes off the woodwork, it always looks so much nicer. From what, 25, 30 yards out, however far it was. And Madueke is showing that in that one goal, that the dribbling attributes he has, the shooting attributes he has, he is a goal threat. And I loved his interview after the game saying, I want to be that guy that my teammates can give me the ball and expect something to happen. I love the confidence that Madueke is coming with. And I really don't think that Arsenal have a profile of winger, even attacker, that has the attributes that Madueke has, that can dribble the way he does, that can make something happen out of nothing. And in terms of beating a player, and that's kind of really what I'm talking about because Saka's more of a pass and move guy, a link up play guy. You see how amazing he is with Odegaard in that respect over the last few years. And even the guys on the left wing, I feel like, you know, the Trossards, the Martinellis. Trossard has a bit more about him, but they are much more just direct players. But Madueke, left foot, right foot, dribbling, shooting, he has got the attributes to be a top player. And I think he's going to be a very, very key player for Arsenal, not just this season, but in seasons to come. So shout out to Noni Madueke. And shout out to Martinelli as well. It seems like he's saving all his energy and all of his output for the Champions League. What a goal by Martinelli as well. The way he's wrapped it, because as he's dribbling with the ball, it's kind of going away from goal, but he's wrapped it into the top corner. And what a great goal. And Arsenal's squad depth is really something to be reckoned with. And it shows because, you know, in the past, they weren't able to, if certain players aren't playing well, they're not able to take them off because they're the best they have. And the drop between those players and the bench players was too far. Whereas now, it's not the case. And you can see, and shout out to Arteta for this, I will say, because he even had Norgard playing in a defensive position in this game. And he's utilizing the whole squad. Amarim, take notes. And of course, the golfing quality, I've just talked about that, but he's utilizing the whole squad, and he's doing this thing where he's actually keeping everyone relatively happy, and he's got even the bench players raring to go, still got that hunger to come off the bench and make an impact. So Arsenal top of the table in the Champions League. On they go, on they go. Let's go on to the Inter Milan versus Liverpool game. And of course, all the talk is about Mohamed Salah. And listen, Slot obviously left him at home this game. rightfully so in my opinion. I don't think you can take him to a game after what he said. And it paid off because they did get the win. They did get the win. Konate will be hard done by. I did think that that goal should have stood, but that would have done a lot for his confidence. But outside of that, Inter did have a couple chances, but Liverpool actually defended very well in this game. And where their defense has been all over the place because of Van Disney and co, um, they will take a lot of confidence in this clean sheet at the San Siro. But listen, Dominic Szoboszlai, what a player, man. What a player. He is Liverpool's best player this season by far, and he's really stepping up when he needs them most. And what a penalty. That's not easy to do in the dying embers of the game. And what a strike. So shout out to Szoboszlai. I've listened to a couple interviews and stuff that Slot's been doing. I remember he did one with Seedorf midweek, and I really felt listening to what he was saying that there was no way back for Salah. But now I've listened to his pre-match conference for the Brighton game, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because he basically said, I'm going to talk to Mo, and off this one conversation that I have with him, it's going to decide the future. So if Mo Salah comes and apologizes, maybe they can patch things up. But I did initially think, after what Salah said and the pride that Liverpool carried themselves with, that we won't see Salah in a Liverpool shirt again. But let us see. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you think he's going to be involved in the Brighton game? Do you think when he comes back from AFCON that he will be part of the Liverpool setup? Let me know, guys. Let me know. Moving on. Chelsea. Chelsea. Ever since the amazing draw that you had against Arsenal, it's been a downward spiral, man. They've lost against Atalanta 2-1 away from home in the north of Italy. And listen, their one goal with João Pedro was a nice goal. Of course, it comes from Reece James creating, but it's just so poor. And Maresca, one week you're doing a tactical masterclass, and the next week you don't know what you're doing. And I just think personally, and I was saying this to my mate that sports Chelsea, that I just think their team is too raw at the moment. You see at the beginning of the game, Achimpong made a great last ditch save, or block, I should say. So they've got such quality, but it's young, it's raw quality that I think needs a couple more years, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, just to really come together. But at the same time, I do think Maresca could definitely be making some better decisions as well. Um, but yeah, they've just got too much raw talent at the moment, and I think they just need to gel a bit more together. And those players need to just come of age just a little bit more as a unit, because it's different if you have one young player or a couple young players amongst an experienced team that have played together and know how to play together and etc. But when a lot of your team is young and raw and all these things, the inexperience will show. And Chelsea are a magnificent club and a magnificent team in terms of on their day, I think they can beat anyone in the world. But it's about that consistency, and it's just a consistency that I don't think they have at the moment. And I'm sure they will get to the knockout stages. Don't be surprised if you catch Chelsea at the latter stages of the Champions League, because they showed they can par up with the best in the Club World Cup. So don't be surprised. And Chelsea on their day, like I say, tournament team in that respect. They can beat anyone, but just the run of form that they're on in terms of challenging Arsenal for the league and stuff like this, I think they will just fall that bit short. That bit short. But hey, moving on. Spurs 3-0 at Slavia Prague. Now listen, Spurs will take a lot of confidence from this game. They've been struggling to score goals, struggling to create chances, and a 3-0 win always goes a long way. But I will say Slavia Prague, they haven't won a game in the Champions League yet. And it was an own goal and two penalties. And granted, they had so many chances, so the scoreline could have been double that. But they need to start scoring open play goals, and good goals and creative goals to get their confidence back up there. But nonetheless, still a great win. Um, and Xavi Simons really getting in his bag, really dictating play along with Mohamed Kudus. So if those two can really get in their bag for Spurs, maybe we will see the best under Thomas Frank. I don't think Thomas Frank is good enough for this job because he's trophyless. And I think where Spurs want to get to is build on the trophy they just won. But let's see. Let us see. They've got Forest away next. And that's going to be a tough tie. That's going to be a tough tie under Sean Dyche. So let us see. Also, going back to Chelsea, they've got Everton at home, which is also going to be a tough tie. Everton have been, I don't know if they won their last game, but overall under Moyes, they've stabilised and they've been doing well. Okay, cool. Let us now. I'm going to get back to Newcastle, the Premier League tie. But Marseille, I need to talk about Marseille. Because if you watch my first Champions League video, I said Marseille are my underdogs. And granted, they haven't got the most points in the league just yet, in the Champions League. But I think if Marseille get to the knockout phases, which I think they will, in my opinion, they will be a force to be reckoned with. They are my underdogs. And Mason Greenwood, and when he was at United, I used to say this, he has Ballon d'Or potential. This guy is such a baller. I'll keep it real. I'm sad that he's not at United. I am personally in it, but Mason Greenwood is gonna go right to the top of football. Granted, he probably won't come back to the Premier League. I'm sure of that. I'm sure he won't even want to, but he will end up at Bayern Munich, at Real Madrid, or at Barcelona. Mason Greenwood will play. Will play. Let me repeat that. Mason Greenwood will play for either Bayern Munich, Barcelona, or Real Madrid one day. I'm so sure of that. He's too good. Left the first goal, chopping and changing, even the lead up to the goal, and then he smashes it in with his right foot. Too much power. The second goal, chopping the defender, left foot finesse into the side netting. He is an amazing footballer. And he's so good because he had some time off football because of his off the field troubles. You're seeing what one pre-season did to like one pre-season not in the a club facility. You saw what that did to Alexander Isak. Mason Greenwood was off the club facilities for time, and he's come back and look at the level he's playing at. Look at the level he's playing at. Absolutely ridiculous. And I think that the manager at Marseille is doing a phenomenal job. De Zerbi over there. Maybe they can push for the league on a title with Greenwood being the top scorer over there. But that front three of Pac scored the goal that Pac scored, the lead up, the football they were playing. Granted, it was a ricochet in the end, but the lead up into that goal was beautiful football. All of the attackers involved. And Pac-Shao, Aubameyang, and Greenwood, it's a dangerous front three. And I don't think many teams will want to come against that in the knockout stages. So shout out to Greenwood, shout out to Marseille, my underdogs. Obviously, I also said that Bayern Munich are my winners for the Champions League. So let's see how they get on. Obviously, back to winning ways after their win after their loss against Arsenal. And let's just get to that actually before I get to Newcastle. Leonard Karl. Hey, this guy is insane. This guy is insane. He is one of the best wonder kids in the world at 17 years of age. What he's doing in the Champions League is a madness. His disallowed goal is like it's beautiful. The fact that it was disallowed is like, damn, I wish it was allowed, man. Irrespective of the offside. But even his goal, the way he's taking it, beautiful touch with the right foot to set him, and then right foot smashes it into the back of the net. He's got left foot, right foot, dribbling, and just a fearless energy to him, man. Leonard Karl is with the Lamine Yamals, is with the Estavals. He's better than Estaval. Karl was better than Estaval, for sure. He's not better than Yamal, of course. Yamal has done too much to be getting questioned. But Leonard Karl, I think after Yamal, he might be the second best 17, 18 teenager in the world in terms of those attacking positions. Sorry, I definitely think so. Shout out to Leonard Karl, man. Top baller. Cool. Leverkusen, Newcastle 2-2. And Newcastle will be disappointed not to go away with a win, with Grimaldo getting the last minute equalizer. And Grimaldo really becoming a Leverkusen legend at this point. Do you know what I'm saying? But Newcastle did very well to get back into that game. Anthony Gordon on penalty duty again. What a good penalty. And then Lewis Miley. Lewis Miley? Yeah. Is that his name? Correct me if I'm wrong. But Miley with a great header to make it 2-1. So they will be disappointed um, not to get those 3 points. But Newcastle are doing well in the Champions League, man. They're not in the top 8, but they're in the next, I think they're like 12th or 13th in the league table. And they are looking quite strong, and they will be looking to get to the knockout stages. So shout out to Newcastle. Shout out to Eddie Howe. The next Premier League game they've got is Sunderland away. One of the fiercest rivalries, one of the best rivalries in English football. So I am looking forward to that, especially with Sunderland playing as well as they have been playing. Now, just to round up a couple more of the games that interest me, Barcelona coming back against Frankfurt, Koundé with a double, and Marcus Rashford with a lovely, beautiful assist. I'm so grateful to see Marcus Rashford just playing good football again and seeing him make such an impact, coming off the bench and making that impact, in fact. So shout out to Marcus, shout out to Barca. Now, Benfica Napoli 2-0. Benfica, Mourinho had to show McTominay. Sorry, I just spat. Um, Mourinho had to show McTominay, settle down, my Serie A MVP, because I found you. You know, I think Mourinho made a funny comment at the end of the game saying, I got McTominay's jersey because I benched Pogba for him. That's the least he can do. I love Mourinho, man. Honestly, after Sir Alex Ferguson, my second favorite manager of all time. Um, and I think he's the second best manager of all time. We can have that debate another day. But Mourinho versus Conte in this game. So the battle of the dark arts, the battle of the defenses, and Mourinho comes on top. A very needed win for Benfica as well. And a very convincing 2-0 win as well. So shout them out, man. They did very, very well. Atletico Madrid versus PSV 3-2. Big game. PSV can't build on their last win against Liverpool, but Atletico Madrid, you know they're a top side. You know you will catch them in the knockout stages. That, you know, Diego Simeone, he lives on in the Champions League. And then lastly, PSG 0-0 versus Bilbao. A dry game, but PSG won't be worrying too much about that. You know, they will be making it to the latter stages of the Champions League. But listen, that's another Champions League round up. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know whether you think Madueke or Martinelli's goal was better. And yeah, man, who are your Champions League winners? Let me know your predictions. Like, comment, share, subscribe, my people, man. I'm out. I'll see you on the next one.